The constant hum of machinery filled Deep Space Repair Station 42, a massive structure floating in Earth's orbit that resembled a giant metallic snowflake. Through the reinforced windows of the main control room, Tom Miller watched as yet another alien vessel approached the docking bay, its hull bearing the scars of what looked like a nasty encounter with a solar storm. "Another one for the books," he muttered, running his calloused hands through his graying hair. At 45, Tom had spent the last 15 years turning this repair station into the most sought-after fix-it shop in the known galaxy. The monitor in front of him displayed the day's schedule. 27 ships from 15 different species, all waiting for human expertise. The newest arrival was a Meridian transport vessel, its crystalline hull structure pulsing with a weak purple light. Tom recognized the signs immediately. Their quantum drive was operating at less than 30% efficiency. The ship's captain, a tall, translucent being, appeared on the main screen. Station 42, requesting emergency docking. 3 other repair stations couldn't identify the problem. "We heard humans. Humans can fix anything." The alien's voice translator conveyed both hope and skepticism. Tom smiled. He'd heard this story countless times before. "Dock at Bay 7. We'll take a look." As he made his way through the station's corridors, Tom reflected on how humanity had earned its reputation. When Earth first joined the galactic community 50 years ago, other species had laughed at their primitive technology. But that all changed when a human mechanic fixed a Centaurian warship using nothing but basic tools and understanding of mechanical principles. The repair bay was a massive chamber filled with various tools, both Earth-made and alien. His team was already gathering. Jack, the propulsion specialist who could identify engine problems just by listening to them. Maria, the systems analyst who had an uncanny ability to understand alien computer interfaces. And Pete, the structural engineer who treated every repair like a puzzle waiting to be solved. The Meridian ship's crystal hull towered above them, its surface now barely glowing. The alien captain emerged, accompanied by 2 crew members, their translucent bodies reflecting the bay's lights. "Our quantum drive," the captain began. "It's failing." The Redesigning station said the crystal matrix was beyond repair. The Proxima repair hub suggested complete replacement. "We can't afford that." Tom walked around the ship, his experienced eyes taking in every detail. He pulled out his tablet, scanning the hull's resonance frequencies. The readings confirmed his suspicion. "Your problem isn't the quantum drive," Tom said, pointing to a seemingly perfect section of the crystal hull. "It's here. There's a microscopic fracture in your hull's resonance matrix. It's creating a feedback loop that's disrupting your drive's efficiency." The alien captain's body flickered in surprise. "Impossible. Our scanners showed nothing." "That's because you're looking for damage in the quantum spectrum. This is old-fashioned mechanical stress. Happens all the time in Earth's glass buildings during earthquakes." Tom turned to his team. "Jack, get the sonic harmonizer. Maria, we'll need to calibrate it to crystal frequencies. Pete, prepare the nano-bonding solution, the one we developed for the Arcturus mining vessels." The team moved with practiced efficiency. Within hours, they had identified the exact frequency needed to stabilize the fracture and applied a solution that would strengthen the crystal structure. The purple glow of the ship's hull gradually brightened to its normal intensity. The Meridian captain's body pulsed with amazement as the ship's systems reported full functionality. How did you know?" Tom shrugged. "On Earth, we spent centuries fixing things with limited resources. We had to understand the basics: stress, strain, vibration, resonance. When you understand the fundamentals, it doesn't matter how advanced the technology is. Problems are still problems." As the Meridian ship departed, Tom watched 3 more vessels entering the station's space. Word had spread fast about their latest success. He could already see the unusual design of an Arcturus mega-freighter among them. "Another day at the office," he said to his team, but there was pride in his voice. Humanity might have been late to join the galactic community, but they had found their niche. In a universe of specialists, humans were the ultimate generalists, problem solvers who never forgot the basics that made everything work. The repair station's communication system chimed again. Another ship, another problem to solve. Tom smiled. This was what humans did best, fixing the unfixable, one impossible repair at a time. The warning sirens blared across Deep Space Repair Station 42, their piercing sound cutting through the usual mechanical hum. Tom Miller was just finishing his lunch when the emergency alert flashed across every screen in the station. Critical condition. Galactic Council vessel approaching. Multiple system failures. Through the observation deck's windows, he saw it. A massive diplomatic vessel belonging to the Galactic Council. The ship's sleek design was marred by visible damage, and its usual golden glow was flickering like a dying light bulb. What caught Tom's attention wasn't the size of the ship, but the erratic way it was moving. All hands to emergency stations. Tom's voice echoed through the intercom. Maria, Jack, Pete, meet me at Docking Bay 1. This is going to be a tough one. The ship's approach was dangerous, its movements suggesting complete failure of navigation systems. The station's tractor beams locked onto it, carefully guiding it into the enormous emergency dock. As the vessel finally settled, emergency containment fields sprang up around it. A holographic projection appeared. The ship's captain, Ambassador Rel, a being of pure energy contained within an environmental suit. The projection was unstable, flickering in and out of existence. Station 42. Life support failing. AI core deteriorating. 3 stations declared, beyond repair. The transmission cut out repeatedly. 26 diplomats on board. Please, help. Tom and his team rushed into the dock, their emergency gear already activated. The ship's hull was hot enough to melt standard equipment, a sign of catastrophic system failure. Maria, Jack into their systems. Pete, get readings on that hull temperature. Jack, we need to find a way inside. Tom shouted over the sound of emergency cooling systems engaging. Maria's fingers flew over her portable interface. Tom, this is bad. Their AI core is corrupting. It's taking everything with it. Life support, navigation, power distribution. We've got maybe 2 hours before total failure. Through the emergency access port, they could see the diplomats gathered in the ship's main chamber, their environmental suits working overtime to keep them alive. The ship's interior was a maze of advanced technology, most of it now malfunctioning. 3 other stations couldn't fix this. Pete wondered aloud, studying the readings. What makes them think we can? Tom was already deep in thought, his mind racing through years of experience. Something about the situation felt familiar. The way the systems were failing, the pattern of the breakdown. Wait a minute, he said suddenly. This reminds me of something. Jack, doesn't this failure pattern look like what happened to nuclear submarines when their cooling systems would cascade? Jack's eyes widened with recognition. You're right. The old Russian submarines used to have this problem. When one system failed, it would create a chain reaction. Tom turned to Maria. Can you isolate the AI core from the ship's other systems? Make it run independently. That's impossible, she started, then caught herself. Well, impossible by standard procedures. But if we treat each system like an independent submarine compartment. Exactly. Tom grabbed his tools. Pete, we need to create emergency bulkheads in their computer systems. Jack, help me rig up a makeshift cooling system. Something basic, like what they used in the old nuclear subs. The next hour was a blur of activity. Using principles developed for underwater vessels centuries ago, they began sectioning off the ship's systems. Maria wrote basic override codes, while Tom and Jack jerry-rigged a primitive but effective cooling system using station equipment. It's not elegant, Tom admitted as they worked. But sometimes the old ways are the best ways. The ship's temperature began to drop, one by one. Systems stabilized as they were isolated from the corrupted AI core. The diplomats watched in amazement as their environmental suits stopped flashing warning signals. Ambassador Rel's hologram appeared again, this time stable. "How did you do it?" The other stations said the integration was too complex to separate the systems. Tom wiped sweat from his forehead. Sometimes the answer isn't in making things more complex. Those old submarine engineers knew. When things go wrong, you need to be able to run systems independently. Your ship's eye was too integrated. We just gave each system its own compartment, like they used to do underwater. The ambassador's energy form pulsed with what seemed like relief. "The Galactic Council will hear of this. You've saved not just our lives, but crucial diplomatic missions." As the emergency teams began detailed repairs, Tom couldn't help but smile. Once again, humanity's primitive history had provided the solution to an advanced problem. Sometimes, the best way forward was to remember the lessons of the past. Inside the engineering bay of Station 42, Tom Miller stared at the holographic display of the Galactic Council ship's systems. After stabilizing the immediate crisis, they now faced the challenge of implementing a permanent solution. The ship's advanced AI core lay before them, its quantum circuits pulsing weakly. According to standard protocols, this level of AI corruption requires complete replacement, Maria said, scanning through the technical manuals. Cost would be astronomical, and the Council would be without their flagship for months. Tom walked around the hologram, his eyes narrowed in concentration. The AI's quantum matrix reminded him of something he'd seen before, but in a much simpler form. He pulled up an old Earth technical manual on his tablet. "Look at this," he said, showing the team a diagram of an old supercomputer cooling system. "The quantum pathways in their AI are overheating just like these old processors used to. We're not thinking basic enough." Jack leaned in, studying both displays. "You're right. The principles haven't changed, just the scale and complexity." The team gathered around a workbench, spreading out both ancient and modern tools. Tom pulled out a piece of paper, actual paper, and started sketching. The other engineers in the station thought he was odd for using such an outdated method, but Tom believed some problems needed to be solved the old-fashioned way. "Here's what we're going to do," he explained, drawing quick diagrams. "Instead of replacing the AI, we'll modify it. These quantum pathways, they're like rivers. And what do you do when a river keeps flooding?" "You build channels," Pete answered, catching on. "Drainage systems." "Exactly. We'll create bypass channels in the quantum matrix. Let the energy flow more efficiently." Tom's pencil moved faster. "Maria, can you reconfigure the pathways?" Maria nodded, already typing commands. "It's not in any manual, but the principle is sound. I'll need to write new code, though." For the next several hours, the team worked with a combination of cutting-edge tools and basic mechanical principles. They treated the quantum AI not as an advanced piece of technology, but as a complex system of flowing energy, something humans had been managing since the dawn of civilization. Ambassador Rel and several other diplomats watched from behind a safety field as the humans worked. Their energy forms flickered with what seemed like confusion as they observed Tom using hand tools alongside quantum manipulators. "What they're doing," one diplomat commented, "it goes against every maintenance protocol in the galaxy." Tom overheard this, but kept working. He'd heard it all before. Humans were unorthodox. Humans didn't follow proper procedures. Humans relied too much on intuition. But results spoke louder than criticism. "Jack, pass me that modified phase spanner," Tom called out. He'd adapted the tool himself, combining old Earth mechanics with alien technology. "Maria, how's that code coming?" "Ready to implement." "But Tom, this is definitely not in any repair manual." Neither was fixing steam engines with chewing gum. Tom replied with a grin. But that got early settlers across America. The team worked seamlessly, each bringing their unique perspective to the problem. Peake used his knowledge of ancient Roman aqueducts to help design the quantum energy flow. Maria integrated old Earth programming principles into the alien code. Jack applied basic thermodynamics to the quantum level. Finally, after triple-checking their work, they were ready. Tom took a deep breath and initiated the restart sequence. The AI core hummed to life, its quantum pathways glowing with a healthy blue light. Diagnostics showed all systems functioning at 110% efficiency. Ambassador Rel's energy form brightened considerably. "This is impossible. You've not only repaired it but improved it." "How?" Tom shut down his tools and wiped his hands on his uniform. "We just remembered that no matter how advanced technology gets, it still follows basic physical laws. Your eye was like a river system. It needed proper channels and flow control. We just applied old Earth engineering principles to your quantum technology." The diplomat's translator struggled to convey their amazement. But the other repair stations? They probably looked for a high-tech solution to a basic problem. Jack interrupted. "Sometimes you need to step back and remember the fundamentals." As the diplomats began running their own checks on the ship's systems, Tom gathered his tools. He noticed several of the younger station engineers watching him with newfound respect. That was good. They needed to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in their advanced technology, but in their ability to understand and apply basic principles to any problem. "Remember," he told them, "no matter how complex the technology, the universe still runs on simple rules. Never forget the basics." The observation deck of Station 42 had never been so crowded. Tom stood at the window, watching as ships from across the galaxy formed a queue that stretched far into space. The success with the Galactic Council vessel had spread faster than a solar flare through the Galactic communications network. "Sir," called one of the traffic controllers, "we have 73 ships waiting for repairs. That's triple our normal capacity." The young controller's screen was filled with blinking indicators of vessels from species Tom had never even seen before. "And more are arriving every hour," added Maria, who had dark circles under her eyes from working extended shifts. "We've got ships from the outer rim that traveled for weeks just to reach us." Tom rubbed his temples, studying the massive holographic display showing the crew. Ships of every size and design waited patiently. Massive cargo haulers, sleek diplomatic vessels, even what appeared to be a living ship made of some sort of biological crystal. "Station 42, a new voice crackled over the comm system. This is the Hegemony battle cruiser Eternal Victory. We require immediate assistance. Our quantum lance weapon system has malfunctioned." Jack looked up from his console. A Hegemony warship. They're the ones who kept saying human technology was barely above stone tools. Now they're asking for our help. Tom allowed himself a small smile. "Route them to Bay 4. Funny how quickly opinions change when you need something fixed." The station's communication system pinged again, this time with a priority message from Earth's Galactic Relations Office. A stern-faced official appeared on screen. "Chief Engineer Miller, we're receiving complaints from several major alien repair corporations. They're claiming unfair competition and suggesting that your methods are dangerously unorthodox." "Unorthodox?" Tom gestured to the screens showing successfully repaired ships leaving the station. "Our safety record is perfect, and our success rate is nearly double any other repair facility in the sector." "Nevertheless," the official continued, "they're demanding an investigation into your repair practices." Before Tom could respond, another alert sounded. A massive ship had just dropped out of faster-than-light travel nearby. A Centaurian mobile repair platform. Its size dwarfed Station 42, and its hull gleamed with advanced technology. "Looks like the competition decided to set up shop right next door," Pete muttered, watching the massive structure position itself. The next few days brought a surge of propaganda across the galactic networks. The Centaurians advertised their properly certified repair services, emphasizing their advanced technology and adherence to standard protocols. They even offered significant discounts to lure ships away from Station 42. But something unexpected happened. Despite the Centaurian station's impressive appearance and lower prices, ships kept choosing the human repair station. The queue at Station 42 grew even longer. "I don't understand," said a junior engineer, watching another ship bypass the Centaurian facility. "Their technology is way more advanced than ours. Why do they still come here?" Tom was running diagnostics on a particularly tricky repair when he answered, "Because we do something they can't. We think outside their boxes." As if to prove his point, they were currently fixing an alien mining vessel using principles learned from old Earth oil rigs. The alien captain watched in amazement as they applied seemingly primitive solutions to advanced problems, and got results. "You humans," the captain said, his translator struggling to convey his tone, "you approach problems differently. The Centaurians, they just follow their manuals. When something isn't in their manual, they give up." Later that day, Tom received another call from Earth. This time, it was different. "The Galactic Council has issued a statement," the official announced, looking much happier than before. "They're officially recognizing human repair expertise as a unique and valuable contribution to galactic civilization." The entire station crew celebrated that night, but Tom spent it in his office, looking through old technical manuals. Everything from ancient steam engines to 21st century computers. These were humanity's real treasures, he thought. Not the advanced tools they'd gained from alien contact, but the fundamental understanding of how things worked, built up over centuries of trial and error. A new alert caught his attention. Another ship requesting emergency repairs. Tom smiled and grabbed his toolkit. The Centaurians could keep their massive repair platform and advanced technology. Humanity had something better: the ability to understand, adapt, and solve problems in ways the rest of the galaxy had forgotten. The massive ship that appeared at Station 42's docking bay looked like trouble from the moment Tom laid eyes on it. It was a Centaurian luxury cruiser, its sleek hull decorated with intricate patterns that seemed to shift and change in the station's lights. But something about its approach seemed off. "That's odd," Maria said, studying her readings. "Their distress signal indicates total system failure, but their auxiliary power is functioning perfectly." Tom frowned. After 20 years of fixing ships, he'd developed a sixth sense for when something wasn't right. "Jack, run a deep scan. Pete, get the diagnostic tools ready. Something's not adding up here." The ship's captain, a tall Centaurian with metallic skin, emerged from the vessel flanked by what appeared to be news reporters from various galactic media outlets. Tom's suspicion grew stronger. "Our ship," the captain announced loudly enough for the reporters' recording devices to pick up, "has suffered a mysterious breakdown. 3 of our own repair stations couldn't fix it. We've come to see if the humans' reputation is deserved." Tom noticed the slight pause before the word humans, the way the captain's metallic skin rippled with what looked like amusement. This was a setup. "We'll take a look," Tom said calmly, leading his team toward the ship. As they walked, he whispered to his crew, "Triple-check everything. They're trying to catch us out." The ship's engine room was a maze of advanced technology, systems interlinked in ways that seemed unnecessarily complex. Tom had never seen a civilian vessel with such elaborate engineering. Every diagnostic tool they used gave different readings. "This is impossible," Pete muttered after an hour of scanning. "According to these readings, the quantum drive is both working perfectly and completely dead at the same time." Maria's face was lit by the glow of her tablet. "The computer systems are showing similar contradictions. It's like someone deliberately created a puzzle that can't be solved." The reporters hovered nearby, recording every moment of the humans' apparent confusion. The Centaurian captain stood watching with barely concealed satisfaction. Tom stepped back, wiping sweat from his forehead. He studied the engine configuration again, noting how the power flows seemed to loop back on themselves in impossible ways. Then it hit him. "They've created a paradox engine," he said quietly to his team. "Look at these power loops. They've deliberately set up the systems to give contradictory readings. Any repair station following standard protocols would be stumped." Jack nodded slowly. "Because they'd try to fix each system individually. But if all the systems are linked, then we need to fix them all at once, Tom finished. Or rather, break them all at once. The captain's smug expression faltered as Tom pulled out his oldest, most basic diagnostic tool, one that didn't rely on quantum scanning or advanced AI analysis. It was a simple mechanical sensor, the kind used on Earth ships centuries ago. "What are you doing?" the captain demanded as Tom began systematically shutting down ship systems. "Solving your puzzle," Tom replied. "You've created a beautiful paradox, Captain. Each system is telling the others it's both working and failed. The only way to fix it is to stop all the lies at once." Working quickly, Tom's team isolated each system, shutting them down completely. The ship went dark, its elaborate patterns fading. The reporters murmured among themselves. "Now," Tom said, pulling out a handful of simple mechanical bypass circuits, "we rebuild. Basic power flow first. No quantum interconnects. Let's show them how we did things before computers could lie to us." Over the next 2 hours, they'd reconstructed the ship's systems from the ground up, using fundamental engineering principles that predated space travel. The reporters watched in fascination as the humans ignored the advanced diagnostic tools in favor of basic mechanical sensors and simple electrical tests. Finally, Tom initiated the restart sequence. The ship hummed to life, its systems functioning perfectly, and truthfully, for the first time since it arrived. The captain's metallic skin had lost its smug sheen. "How did you know?" "Because," Tom said, loud enough for the reporters to hear, "we humans learned long ago that when systems get too complex, you need to remember the basics. You built an impossible puzzle, but you forgot that underneath all that complexity, ships still run on simple principles. Principles we've never forgotten." The reporters' stories the next day weren't what the Centaurians had hoped for. Instead of exposing human inadequacy, they revealed how humanity's grasp of fundamental engineering had defeated and deliberately engineered challenge. The headlines across the galaxy read, "Humans fix the unfixable." Again. In the aftermath of the Centaurian challenge, Tom and his team found themselves examining the sabotage ship more closely. With the reporters gone, and the embarrassed captain waiting in the station's lounge, they had a chance to really study what the Centaurians had created. "Look at this," Tom said, pointing to a holographic display of the ship's power distribution system. They were so focused on making it unsolvable, they accidentally showed us something important about their entire engineering philosophy. Maria leaned in, her eyes scanning the complex network of quantum pathways. "You're right. All their systems are designed to be interdependent. They don't believe in backup systems or manual overrides." The team gathered around the display while Tom pulled up comparison schematics from other alien vessels they'd repaired. A pattern began to emerge. "Every advanced species does the same thing," Jack noted, pointing to various designs. "They make everything connected to everything else. Their A's handle all the complexity." Tom nodded, pulling out his paper notebook, a habit that still drew curious looks from visiting aliens. He started sketching basic mechanical principles, the kind taught in first-year engineering classes on Earth. "They've forgotten something fundamental," he explained, drawing simple diagrams. "When early humans built machines, we couldn't rely on computers to manage everything. We had to understand how each part worked independently." Pete picked up a piece of the Centaurian ship's damaged components. "It's like they've skipped steps in their technological evolution. They went straight from simple tools to quantum computing without learning the lessons in between." The team spent the next several hours stripping down the Centaurian systems to their basic components. What they found was surprising. Beneath all the quantum circuitry and AI interfaces lay simple mechanical processes: thrust, power generation, life support, all operating on principles humans had mastered centuries ago. "Watch this," Tom said, disconnecting the quantum control system from a power converter. He attached a simple mechanical gauge to it instead. "See, it still works. The quantum tech just makes it more efficient, but the basic operation is the same as an old Earth generator." Muriel was already documenting their findings. The Centaurians didn't just try to trick us. They revealed a critical weakness in advanced alien engineering. They're too dependent on their advanced systems. Tom walked around the stripped-down engine room, touching various components. Every machine, no matter how advanced, still operates on basic physical laws. Push here, something moves there. Energy flows from high to low. Heat needs to dissipate. Like that old saying, Jack added, advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Except we humans never forgot it's not actually magic. As they reassembled the ship's systems, they made subtle improvements. Each critical system got a mechanical backup. Simple manual controls were added alongside the AI interfaces. The power distribution was redesigned to allow for independent operation of essential systems. The Centaurian captain returned to inspect their work, his metallic skin reflecting his confusion. "What have you done to my ship?" "We made it better," Tom explained, showing him the modifications. "Your ship was state-of-the-art, but it was also fragile. One system fails, everything fails. We fixed that." Running diagnostics showed that the ship's efficiency had actually improved. The simplified backup systems reduced the load on the quantum processors, making everything run smoother. But this goes against all modern engineering principles. The captain protested, though his sensors were telling him the ship was performing better than ever. Tom smiled, patting the nearest bulkhead. "Sometimes the old ways are the best ways. Your advanced technology is amazing, but it's built on top of basic physics. We just made sure you could access those basics when you need them." As the team finished their work, Tom gathered the younger engineers who had been watching the process. "Remember this," he told them. "Our strength isn't in having the most advanced technology. It's in understanding how everything works, from the simplest lever to the most complex quantum drive." The Centaurian ship departed, running better than it had since it was built. But it left behind something more valuable than a repair fee. It had helped reveal why humans had become the galaxy's best engineers. They hadn't just learned to use advanced technology. They understood the fundamental principles that made all technology work. That understanding, Tom knew, was humanity's true gift to the galaxy. 6 months after the Centaurian incident, Deep Space Repair Station 42 had transformed. The original structure had been expanded with 3 additional docking rings, and ships from across the galaxy still formed long queues for repairs. But today was different. Today was special. Tom stood in his freshly pressed uniform, watching as the Galactic Council's flagship docked at the station. Its golden hull gleamed, a far cry from the damaged vessel they'd saved months ago. The ship carried representatives from every major spacefaring civilization, gathered for an unprecedented ceremony. "Never thought I'd see the day," Jack said, adjusting his own formal uniform. "The whole galaxy coming to us for engineering advice." The station's main conference hall had been modified to accommodate diverse alien species. Energy beings floated alongside crystalline entities, while mechanical life forms shared space with organic aliens of all shapes and sizes. Ambassador Rel, still remembered for being the first major diplomatic rescue, took the central platform. Their energy form glowed brightly as they addressed the gathered crowd. "6 months ago, this station saved our vessel when all others declared it impossible. Since then, we've studied their methods, their history, and their unique approach to engineering. Today, the Galactic Council recognizes what we should have seen long ago." Tom watched as images appeared above the platform. Old Earth technologies throughout history, steam engines, mechanical computers, early spacecraft, all leading up to modern innovations. Humans, the ambassador continued, did something none of us did. They kept their history. They remembered every step of their technological evolution. While we rushed to achieve quantum computing and AI integration, they preserved the knowledge of basic mechanics and engineering. The display showed footage from Station 42's repairs, humans using simple tools alongside advanced technology, solving complex problems with basic principles. Therefore, Ambassador Rel announced, The Council hereby establishes the Galactic Engineering Academy, to be based here at Station 42. Human engineers will teach their methods to all species, sharing not just their advanced knowledge, but their understanding of fundamental principles. Tom hadn't expected this. He knew they were getting recognition, but teaching. The ambassador wasn't finished. Furthermore, all new ships built in Council space will now require mechanical backup systems and manual controls, a standard that humans have proven essential for true reliability. The announcement caused a stir among the assembled aliens. Some nodded in approval, while others seemed uncomfortable with what they saw as a step backward. But none could argue with the results. After the ceremony, Tom found himself surrounded by alien engineers, all eager to learn. A young Centaurian engineer, actually a junior officer from the ship they'd repaired, approached him. "I watched how you fixed our ship," the Centaurian said. "At first, I thought you were primitive, but now I understand. You see things we've forgotten how to see." Tom led the group to the station's new training facility. Along one wall hung the collection of old Earth tools, wrenches, hammers, manual gauges, alongside the most advanced repair equipment in the galaxy. The first lesson, Tom told them, picking up a simple wrench, isn't about quantum mechanics or AI integration. It's about understanding what happens when you apply force to a bolt. Everything else builds from there. As the alien engineers gathered around, some tentatively handling Earth tools for the first time, Tom felt a deep sense of pride. Humanity had found its place in the galaxy not by abandoning its past, but by preserving it. Later that evening, Tom stood at his favorite spot on the observation deck. The repair crew still stretched into space, but now it moved faster. Other stations were beginning to adopt human methods, and some alien ships were already sporting new mechanical backup systems. Maria joined him, holding 2 cups of coffee. "So, Professor Miller, ready to teach the galaxy how to fix things?" Tom laughed, accepting the coffee. "You know what's funny? We spent so long thinking we needed to catch up to their technology. Turns out we had something just as valuable all along." Through the window, they watched as ships from 100 worlds waited for human expertise. Each one would leave not just repaired, but improved, carrying a piece of human innovation with them into the stars. "After all," Tom said, raising his coffee cup, "sometimes the best way to move forward is to remember how you got there in the first place." The station hummed around them, a symphony of both ancient and advanced technology working in perfect harmony, a testament to humanity's unique gift to the stars.